the Demon Cabbage Patch Kid is they even wrap it in a cabbage. Like when it's sinking down, it's wrapped up in the cabbage.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the main voyage of ScreenQuest. My name is Seth, and with me are my expert analysts Nick and Aaron. We want you to join us on a magical adventure of talking absolute cabbage about the things we love in movies, television, and gaming. For our very first episode, we're diving into Alien Romulus. Let's check it out. Expectations and initial impressions going into the movie Alien Romulus. Did you guys follow the production of the show? Did you see any trailers?
I actually tried to avoid all the trailers because I wanted to not go in with very high expectations. I just kind of wanted to go in, almost kind of have like shock factor. And I also didn't, want to be sorely disappointed with like a lot of other ones that I am.
Disappointed!
I'm the type when it comes to the Alien franchise that I have to dig in and like know everything about it just because I've loved it for so long. I tried not to have high expectations, but I went in with pretty high expectations, wanting it to be something more than the Alien franchise has produced in decades.
Pow!
Okay, so when you say decades, when was the last good Alien movie?
Like the last great Alien movie was Aliens, which in my
1986.
opinion, yes, which my opinion was the best one. I'm going to say something very controversial, and I kind of liked parts of Alien vs. Predator Requiem. I very much liked the aliens and their approach to the aliens a lot more than the original Alien vs. Predator. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. There were aspects of Alien 3 that I thought was pretty good. There were aspects of, Alien Resurrection that I thought was pretty good, even though they really went like kind of the cheesy, hokey route in that one. But yeah, last great one was Aliens. When I was 2.
Gotcha. I mean, I'm right along there with Aaron. I didn't follow the movie at all. May have heard it. You guys say it came out or was coming out. Didn't follow it. Didn't see any trailers. I think the last Alien movie I saw was Prometheus. Wasn't incredibly impressed with it. Not that it was a bad movie, but it just didn't do anything to really stand out or be special. Very predictable. I think you and I saw that in the theater, Nick. And that was the one and only time I saw it. Just didn't have any expectations or hopes at all. Just went into it trying to see, what is this? Let's see how it goes. Directed by Fede Alvarez. I think it's his first time in the Alien franchise, but has a horror background.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a connoisseur of horror movies.
You are a great liar!
Yeah, just kind of went into it expecting an Alien movie. One of the big criticisms online for the movie was the lack of character depth for some of the characters. And so, when you talk about the character development and some attachment, right? You got to get attached to the characters so that you do care when something happens to them. A lot of people felt like that was missing.
Having realistic expectations, right, in going into some of these movies. So, like, how long is Alien Romulus? I think it's like an hour and 40 minutes, right?
Hour and 59.
Yeah.
So still, it's under 2 hours. It doesn't hit that +2 cap.
Right.
And I think for that, it develops at a good speed. Could there be more? Yes. But on the flip side, it's like in order to have more, you have to get in that 225, 230. You have to start tacking on time, which then ends up becoming a complaint also. Because it's like, the movie drug. It had too many lulls. There was like peaks and valleys.
I thought it had good pacing. There are definitely some good horror movies that have great character development, and they can kind of achieve it within that period of time. But ultimately, I think they did enough with what the main character Rain, and then her synthetic brother Andy. Right. That was the focus of the movie. Everyone else, even though. I especially liked I thought I was going to not
Bjorn,
like him.
The one that smokes.
Yeah, and then the one that takes like the cattle prod to the alien and then dies.
Yeah, Bjorn.
Yeah. I end up starting to like him again. Yeah, I mean, was he that developed?
Well, let's get into that for a little bit. I mean, when you talk about specific characters like Bjorn, he was kind of set up to be that asshole, right?
Mhm.
He starts out by antagonizing Andy.
Mhm.
Andy, at this point in the movie, is a very lovable, kind of warm character. You feel for him. He's Rain's brother, played by
Mhm.
Spaney. And then, talk about that character development for a side character that doesn't get a lot of screen time. He's not the main character, dies off, I think, second out of
Yeah.
everyone.
Mhm.
You do get a little bit of backstory about why he is an asshole to synthetics, right?
Right.
And so I thought they did, for limited screen time, they did a good job of trying to insert that in so you can kind of understand, why he's behaving the way he is.
Yeah, and I mean, I think his redeeming qualities are that he's clearly not a coward. There's certain movies where you're just like, why the hell is this character doing this? This is stupid. Like, no one in real life would actually do this. I didn't really get a feel that his character did anything like way out of the ordinary. Now we know the background that, like, a cattle prod isn't going to kill a xenomorph, but
Right.
like if you just focus on, like, he just sees this thing cocoon up and he's like, hey, I've got to
Right.
take care of this sooner rather than later. It was a little thing. I'm going to stop shocking the shit out of it right now.
Yeah.
And
That was satisfying.
yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
go his way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Good
Right.
try, good college
Mhm.
try, doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Was there a standout performance for you?
Is there anyone that stood out to you?
Yeah, Andy.
Mm.
I think what's David Johnson? I
Yes.
think might.
Yeah. Yeah. David Johnson.
Yeah, I thought he was head and shoulders above everyone. I mean, even with Spaney's character, I lump her in with all the other characters, even the characters that don't get a lot of screen time. I think he kind of carried it. Like, when I think back about this movie, I think about his character and kind of the range he had to play. In the beginning, like we just talked about, he's a little bit damaged, maybe both figuratively and literally.
He's a little
And
forced
the fact
dumpy.
that
Yeah.
yeah, and so but then he has that transition, and then he becomes very authoritative, very decisive, and even though he loses maybe a little bit of that warmth and humanity, right, with that issue with Bourne's mother, that kind of comes out where he's very calculated,
Mhm.
and he's gonna do the thing that is in his best interest or in the best interest of the company, and that might mean sacrificing people.
Yeah.
I think that range played by David Johnson is really nice, and to me, his performance stands out. Like, that character stands out among, like, everyone's.
I would say also what was great about him is the introduction of his upgrade. So, when they're in the room with all the facehuggers and he is rebooting, he comes back online at the perfect time, when the facehugger is about to drop on Tyler. And I thought that it's a great shot and everything of him just grabbing the tail, and then you clearly see that there's a difference in him, and then he chucks the face hugger into the wall. The only thing that I would say was kind of unfortunate about him is, when they're in, like, it's not the catacombs, but they're in that, like, underground walkway, and they're about to go to the elevator, and this is when Tyler dies, right? He gets hit by the tail,
Yeah.
by the xenomorph that has like a 20-foot tail apparently, and pulls him up to the rafters. Right. And then Andy just gets, like, shoved away, and then he starts short circuiting again. I feel like that was kind of a setback for him. Like, his character was building better, and then he kind of has, like, that setback. So that was a little bit of a hiccup, but
A little bit of a, I don't want to call it a plot hole, but kind of a character hole, right? Because, why did that happen? Did they need him not to have that, like, strength in that moment so that the action could play out? Like, it was almost like a cop-out.
Yeah.
right.
How I looked at it is I almost looked at it as that was the turning point where, if I have to, like, kind of go back to kind of compare to Alien, if you think about it, that's when Rain kind of really steps up. That's kind of the factor when she kind of becomes, well, is on her path of the Sigourney Weaver. I feel like it's because of he definitely is doing it. And I mean, when I was sitting there, I was almost thinking, okay, what is he gonna do? I mean, they've only got limited ammo. Like, he's
Right.
gonna go through and start punching or tear someone's head off, or I
Right.
mean, go ape shit. And then he shorts out, and then she kind of steps up, which I'm not saying was bad, because of, I agree with both of you. Andy was the best developed, and he surprised me, because in the beginning when I first got him, I'm like, all right, I don't know, this guy's goofy as fucking. I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna get annoyed. I really am. I'm like, we got, you know,
Too many dad jokes. Too many
yeah,
dad
yeah,
jokes.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Again,
And
not everything
then
landed, but
yeah,
as a whole.
to me, that was that tipping point of Rain. So I almost feel like that was intentional, and that was
Mhm.
maybe Alvarez kind of doing like, hey, here's what it takes to get it back to her. I would agree.
Well, it's interesting. Rain as a character, you don't really get a lot of background on her, other than she's been a part of this mining plant and her parents are dead. But right off the bat, she kind of jumps into action. Like even in the very first thing, when the three get caught in the cryo chamber, and they're thawing out the eggs. The character played by Aileen Wu, she starts freaking out and freezes up and doesn't help. And she's the one that runs in and's like starts pulling the chip out of Rook, who is a half. He's cut in half.
Right.
That's pretty traumatizing visuals for a person. I mean, she looks fairly young. I don't know how old the character is in the actual movie, but from the beginning, she kind of had this authority and capability.
Mhm.
So to Aaron's point, how that kind of got pulled from her with the upgrade of Andy. That is a way for the whole kind of like, I guess, focus to get shifted back to her. I
Mhm.
did think it was kind of nice though when she goes back down the elevator shaft to save him, and they kind of get stuck there talking about the dad jokes. Hey, I can appreciate a good dad joke, and
Yeah.
they bring the dad jokes back, which gives her the idea to use the turn that gravity off.
The most standout part of the movie that kind of helped me get on the side of I'm more of a pro for the movie was the almost peel off of going back to like 1979 or
Mhm.
early 80s, and just have that that hue that looked, and even and to be so detailed. Like, I got to give Alvarez credit for being so detailed on like some of the machines. I mean, it
Mhm.
looked like a rubber stamp of the original, and the music like help hook, because of that's what I don't believe Alien 3 or Resurrection, it's missed. That it didn't
Mhm.
have that classic Alien.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A lot of like the soundtrack is like less is more. If you watch the first Alien, it's very quiet a lot of the times. Now at like the climax and stuff like that, it's like cranked up, right? And then Aliens, James Cameron, I think, did a very smart thing to where it starts out very silent, but then he's also putting in that snare drum that gives it the military feel. So being like, hey, there's kind of like this military vibe to it. And then lo and behold, oh, that's because Colonial Marines are going in and whooping some ass, right? So there's that like step up. And then, yes, when you were talking about how the set, that was the first thing I noticed when we were sitting in the movie theater. When it opens up, the consoles, everything was pulled from the future environment and technology that was created in Alien and not in Prometheus. That's the first thing that stood out to me in Prometheus. The time period is much earlier than the original Alien, and yet all the technology is so much better. It's like,
Yeah, light
what
years
is
ahead.
this?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
But
everything is super way advanced, like more like Star Trek type look and feel, and everything is not Alien Universe. 2 minutes into Alien Romulus, and it's like this definitely fits perfectly into the Alien universe.
The assault rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean, is that the classic assault rifle sound from Aliens, or is it slightly different? Is it a different assault rifle? Because I felt like it was similar, but it wasn't the same.
Bruh. Too
Okay, all
much.
right, cool. Yeah, I know. I thought it sounded pretty good. I just wanted to be
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
was there like a standout part?
I really appreciated the little look of the terraforming colony life before they go back up in space, right? Because it is alluded to in Aliens, and even in the like director's cut of Aliens, you see a little bit of what it's like. But this movie, takes those few minutes to kind of show you what it's like on the ground. I hope that they'll eventually have like another outbreak on a planet. In the comics, they'll have like Earth Wars or different things like that. And they have some excellent books where the outbreak is not in space. It's like underground in a mining colony. As far as like sets go where battles take place and stuff, I kind of like the colony look, and you can just throw balls to the walls and just start blasting these bitches instead of having to worry about like, oh shit, oh acid's gonna get on the hull and we're all gonna die. I'd be like, fuck that. This thing's tongue is gonna go through my eye socket in a second.
If I have to criticize the movie, I don't feel like it really did anything very unique. If you've seen an Alien movie, you know what's going to happen in this movie. I mean, and it's kind of the regular formula. Egg hatches, face hugger gets someone, alien is born, crew's got to survive. And so when you talk about seeing other planets and having wars, to me, those are different takes on how to do an Alien movie that I don't really feel like they've done. There was nothing really about the movie that stood out that made it unique.
One thing that kind of irked me, it was on fast forward, like facehugger, alien blowout, and then alien full size in like 5 seconds. I was just like, I don't remember that. I remember like different, like at least like sheds of skin, or there was some sort of time frame.
The gestation cycle of the xenomorphs is insane. Your critique about this one being like ridiculously fast is correct. But if you think about the original Alien, they don't do the best job with time lapse. Alien bursts out in the first one, when they're all at the dinner table.
Yeah.
And then the next victim is in the evaporator room or whatever with the chains coming down, and it's already full size, right? These things are freaking ridiculous. But then I'm like, wait a second, the first one, I'm like, they don't really say how long of a lapse it is. They just do like a cut. I definitely would not mind if they did an Alien movie where they gave it like an afternoon to mature. I don't know.
Give them time to change their pants or something.
Have like an alien like go through like an expedited like puberty stage to where like when it does like the hiss thing, it like its voice crackles a little bit like between ones like and then all the other aliens are laughing at it, pointing at it. Maybe give it some acne to be
Go through an emo stage.
That's right. Yeah. Shut up, Dad. And then scurries off. Can't even get this kid to kill anybody. So fucking lazy. Shut up, Dad. Yeah.
Ooh, let's talk about Rook for a second, because I feel like they missed an opportunity, and they kind of hinted at it with Rook, especially in the scene where they're down in that shaft. Rain and Andy, they're trying to get out, right? And then Rook pops on the screen and says, I'm going to deny your petition. Every time his face kind of came on the scene, it was almost like a third party working against him, like a mastermind who had control of like all the systems of the ship. So you're not only are you dealing with trying to survive the aliens, now you're trying to survive the corporation, quote unquote. But they never really leaned into that sinister aspect that they could have given Rook and had it be more of like an overarching element.
Okay, let me ask you, is this the time for my rant?
Let's do it.
So the demon Cabbage Patch Kid they even wrap it in a cabbage. Like when it's sinking down, it's wrapped up in a cabbage, right? And it looks like this like demon.
I was freaking out in the theater when that happened, because I thought the movie was almost over and we were going to kind of have a happy-ish ending. And then that girl, I completely forgot that she was pregnant. And then she gave birth to an alien egg.
Powder meets Indominus Rex.
My biggest critique is not only was the hybrid ridiculous looking, and yes, I know they wanted to have like it's like a part engineer, part xenomorph. They don't appreciate the wow factor of the xenomorph itself. Complete curveball here. I thought it was a very good line in the movie Jurassic World when Chris Pratt finds out that Bryce Dallas Howard engineered a new dinosaur. And he's like, you cooked up a new dinosaur? She's like, yeah, we always have to go bigger and better, more teeth. And he goes, they're dinosaurs. There's like enough wow already just in the dinosaurs. I feel the same way with xenomorphs. There's enough wow and freakiness in just the xenomorph itself to where you don't have to go like all freak show at the end and have like this weird amalgamation. Like it instantly kicked me out of being in the movie in the moment. I was bought in, and then that happened, and I'm like what the hell? It doesn't completely take away like my like of the movie, but it definitely downgraded it. as far as like an Alien movie goes, I would say it is third in the Alien franchise. Under Aliens, Alien, then Alien Romulus. So this is maybe like a 3.5.
I was thinking a 3, and really it's because the end really kind of puts it down. The Up till that point, I liked it, and truthfully, I know a lot of people won't agree with this, but
Mm.
truthfully, it was trending neck and neck for me with Alien. Not Aliens. Alien still was ahead,
Mm.
but
Don't be crazy now.
I
Yeah.
I
Moment.
I enjoyed it, and it may be because I did have that bar set so low. But then the Cabbage Patch Kid came in and kind of fucked that up pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. It's around a 3 for me. I think it's a mediocre movie. I think it's visually well done. It has a one major memorable character. It's a modern alien movie. They hit on a lot of the historical stuff. To your conversation earlier about almost taking an alien movie and dropping it back in the 80s and 90s as far as like the ships and the grittiness and the way the computers sound and look. Like that was all perfect. I just wanted it to be a little bit more unique. I'd say a 3 is a solid rating for it.
Well, let me ask you this: would it get a better score if at the end it was Shaquille O'Neal instead of this no-name guy?
You know what? It may have knocked Aliens out of the way.
It's Hammer time.
Hamilton.
Wait, what?
I don't know how to shoot free throws, but
And that is a wrap. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider liking and subscribing. If you have your own take on the movie or a suggestion for what we should tackle next, let us know in the comments.